Welcome everybody to the fourth edition of the Socially Distant Tour. I'm Dustin Owens, lead singer and songwriter of the Woolyboogers. And for the fourth edition of this Socially Distant Tour, we're coming to you live from the living room here at an undisclosed location, bunkered away for the quarantine. I'm going to start off by playing you guys a song. It was actually a request from Lucy. I would like to say, I don't know how it's going to sound on the microphone, but just sitting here in the living room is the best sounding room in the house. One disadvantage is it's also pretty central to the rest of the house. So once again, trying to keep my voice down while I'm in here, and hopefully I'll be able to accomplish that without disturbing anybody. Up to this point, most of this tour has been done late at night, like most of my gigs are, while everybody else is in bed asleep. So this one is no different. So request from Lucy. Lucy and I kind of fell in love over music, and it's probably the strongest like material bond that we have, I guess you could say. Our tastes overlap so much that there's really not a whole lot outside of our two curves that we don't have in common, that we don't share, music that we like, that we don't both enjoy. And that's an awesome thing to have. That's something that we always go back to. An artist that we kind of fell in love with together was Nick Cave, and talking about songs that were relevant as part of this socially distant world. And this is one that came immediately to mind for Lucy. So I learned it up for this. This is called God is in the House. Laid the cables and the wires, split the wood and stoked the fire. We built our town so there is no place for crime to hide. Our little church is painted white, and in the stillness of the night we all go quiet as a mouse, for the word is out that God is in the house. God is in the house. God is in the house, and no one's left in doubt. God is in the house. Moral sneaks in the White House, computer geeks in the schoolhouse, drug freaks in the crack house. We don't have that stuff here. We've got a tiny little force, but we need them, of course, for the kittens in the trees. And at night we're on our knees, as quiet as a mouse, since God is in the house. God is in the house. God is in the house. No cause for worry now. God is in the house. Homos walking the streets in packs, queer bashers with tire jacks, lesbian counterattacks. That stuff is for the big city. Our town is very pretty. We've got a pretty little square. We got a woman for a mayor. Our policy is firm but fair, now that God is in the house. God is in the house. God is in the house. How we wish he would come out. God is in the house. Well-meaning little therapists, goose-stepping, 12-stepping teetotalitarians, the reeling and the tipsy and the drop-down piss. We got no time for that stuff here. Little crime and no fear. We painted all our kittens white so we can see them in the night. And at night we're on our knees, as quiet as a mouse, since the word got out. From the north down to the south, there's no one left in doubt, and there's no fear about. And we all hold hands and very quietly shout, hallelujah. God is in the house. Any day now he'll come out. God is in the house. It's God is in the house. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. I think we went and saw Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds both times when Lucy was pregnant. Or, yeah, when she was pregnant with each child, I guess I should say. So, I talked last week about country music and how I feel like country music is something that I probably relate to more than any other style of music. It's probably my favorite style of music to really get into and play. But what's always absolutely just pulled me in are these writers, and I talked about this with Leonard Cohen, that can really like spin a story, write a novel within a song. And so I brought a lot of that to the country music that I loved, or at least I try to. I know I'm not always successful. And also the blues and country, and that's kind of why I kind of hang my hat on this Americana tag, and we'll talk more about that song a little bit later on. But I'm going to do more of that going through. There are going to be theme sets as we continue to do these for who knows how long, but I am going to keep doing them. Honestly, I'm not getting a ton of views, and that's fine. I talked about this too, but kind of reached a point in my musical career where I'm not trying to be a star or anything. I just enjoy doing it, and it makes me feel better, and I enjoy doing it with my kids, and if I can make a few other people feel better, that's great. But mostly I'm kind of logging my thoughts during this strange time. So anyway, I'm going to kind of this set especially play some stuff that is a little bit more kind of representative of that side of my personality, the novelist in song, the history rock stuff, if you will. So the next tune I'm going to play for you here is one of mine. It's called William the Conqueror. Probably going to be some heavy themes throughout this episode. I mean, even if you tuned into the last song thinking it was going to be a gospel number, I apologize. Obviously not, but very literary and well thought out and well written. And I'm going to kind of stay with the literary theme, so there's going to be some violence and dirty language and all kinds of cool stuff like that coming up. So if you're worried about that with the kids, then you might shoo them away, and if you got teenage kids, maybe tell them not to watch and hope that they do later, and they'll get a dose of something that they might not be used to hearing. So anyway, this is William the Conqueror, based on a true story. William the Conqueror. It's not right. I'm going to try that again. That's better. Alright. master took his daddy's crown. His enemies sent assassins, but he could not be found. At the sight of the commander child, their bellies filled with laughter, but he burned their homes and families, did William the bastard. Arrow, 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 arrow. William, Duke of Normandy, held claim to the throne. Harold fell at Hastings, William pulled apart his bones. Stuyvesant fell at Wallingford, the Saxons took to sea. The crown of England graced the brow of William, Duke of Normandy. Arrow, 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 arrow. William the Conqueror met revolt with force. He broke their tools and burned their land in the harrying of the north. The ushers in a Norman rule turned nobles into commoners, an empire forged by the hand of William the Conqueror. Arrow, 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 arrow. William the fat shit fell off his horse. The pommel pierced his abdomen, his insides were squished. They burst and oozed on the floor when they shoved him in his casket. The people retched and the church was cleared by William the fat shit. Arrow, 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 arrow. William the Conqueror. So, let's throw one. Ugh, tiger paws. So, that's probably Towns' favorite song, 2-year-old little guy. His favorite song that I play because he loves going, arrow, arrow. He'll march around and do it. Makes me very proud. That's probably the song that took me the longest out of any song to write and get to where it is right now, and I kind of feel like it's finished. But as I was saying before, I love to write these epic tunes, and I mean epic, not like how awesome it is, but epic like in scope. So this song that kind of tells the life of this real life anti-hero, and really kind of depending on which direction you're looking at the story, but everything is so strange and gothic in its way. And then to build that on top of this sort of building guitar part and this piece in the middle. So originally I went down a Wikipedia black hole and came across the story of William the Conqueror. And I kind of wrote this poem out. I remember I was sitting on the bed at my parents' house. This is probably 12, 13, 14 years ago now. I have no idea how long ago, a really long time ago. And it just sat that way forever. And then I came up with the 5-6 years down the road, I came up with the part that's now the musical bridge. And that was the whole song for a while, was just those 4 chords. And we would do this build with the band where we would start out real quiet and we'd build all the way up and we'd get to the solo and we'd just go nuts. And inevitably, because of this 4-chord progression, we would just drag it on and it would start to sound like Freebird. Every single time I would start to hear Freebird, and so would everybody else in the band, so we'd all kind of start playing it. And I just... it was ridiculous and it was fun live, but I never wanted to put it on a record like that. So probably about a year ago, I put together that new sort of guitar part and kind of built it all into this epic that matches some of the other songs that'll be on that record. I think that record's going to be called A Work Grotesque. I don't know if it's going to be the first one I do or the second one that I do. Probably the second one, because I'm going to start on the first one now, and it can be a little more homemade. I want A Work Grotesque to have more of that epic feel. But songs like that were inspired. I fell in love with Tom Waits, and he's still just one of my all-time favorite songwriters and my absolute favorite singer. I just don't know anybody else that can do as much with their voice, even though it's not technically superior to really anybody. He just makes the most of it, and he tells these stories in songs. So I've been covering this tune for a really long time, and it's probably the cover song that I'm most proud of. Not only do I just love it, the best show I've ever seen was Les Claypool with Gogol Bordello and Kurt Hammett at Super Jam at Bonnaroo, where they did all Tom Waits songs. And they did this song, and I went back and dug it up on the record, and I just love the tune. But it's also my finger picking pattern and arrangement, and I love this picking pattern that I came up with, and I kind of felt like this was the song that made me feel like a real finger picker instead of somebody that just picked individual strings when he was trying to be a little quieter instead of banging away on the pick. So this one's Cold, Cold Ground. Crestfallen sidekick in an old cafe, never slept with a dream before he had to go away. There's a bell in the tower, Uncle Ray bought around. Don't worry about the army in the cold, cold ground. The cold, cold ground. The cold, cold ground. Cold, cold ground. Don't be a crybaby when there's wood in the shed. There's a bird in the chimney and a stone in my bed. When the road's washed out, we pass the bottle around and wait in the arms of the cold, cold ground. The cold, cold ground. Cold, cold ground. The cold, cold ground. Take a Winchester rifle and a whole box of shells. Blow the roof off the goat barn, let it roll down the hill. The piano is firewood, Times Square is a dream. Till we lay down together in the cold ground. The cold, cold ground. The cold, cold ground. The cold, cold ground. There's a river in the willow, a tire swing rope, a briar patch of berries berries taking over the slope. The cattle sleep in the mailbox, we'll never go to town till we bury every dream in the cold, cold ground. The cold, cold ground. The cold, cold ground. The cold ground. The cold, cold ground. Cops on the breed loves, bring a Bible and a rope, a whole box of Rebel and a bar of soap. Make a pile of truck tires and burn them all down. Bring $1 with you, baby, to the cold, cold ground. The cold, cold ground. The cold, cold ground. Cold, cold ground. Take a weather vane rooster, throw rocks at his head. Stop talking to the neighbors till they all go dead. Beware of my temper and the dog that I found. We'll break all the windows in the cold, cold ground. Cold, cold ground, cold ground, the cold, cold ground, the cold ground, the cold. That's Cold Cold Ground by Tom Waits. So, I hate for these videos to come out just me griping and complaining about things, and I try to keep an uplifting spirit, but honestly, the best disinfectant is sunshine, and I'm not getting enough of it. And I'm anxious. Like seriously anxious about everything that's going on in the world right now, and it's made me think a lot about how we live our lives. I want to be more self-sufficient. It's made me think of buying land, actually planting the garden that I've talked about forever. Trying to make myself not as vulnerable if something goes awry. So, I think my Good Stewards of the Earth. Go check out the Good Stewards of the Earth Instagram. For mostly, it's just been pictures of us hiking and canoeing and having fun as a family, but I think I'm really going to amp that up now, and I'm going to put some real focus into that coming up. I had a rough week, and I think the world had a rough week. We still haven't reached our peak with COVID-19 yet, and we're still all holed up. I found out earlier in the week that we weren't going to be allowed to stay open as a business, and so my hours were reduced. Lucky to still be getting hours, and I totally understand that, but I'm torn between doing what I've always done, which is working hard to make a living, and then also staying at home and trying to protect myself and protect the community. And, you know, I know that I have to work to make money, and I understand the business that I work for needing to do what they can to keep the doors open and provide jobs, but at the same time, I think it's bad as a society that we're in this position where we are all so desperate so fast. And then we got cleared to be essential, so now fortunately, I'm still at reduced hours, but we are operating and can make enough money to support my salary, which is fantastic. But once again, I'm having face-to-face constantly with customers. I had a guy come in today that works at Lowe's, and he said he's just swarmed all day, every day with people coming in for home improvement projects and not wearing masks and not knowing if they're spreading the disease. And his whole thing was just like, I'm going to get it. There's no way I'm not going to get it. So why should I work hard to try not to? And I can understand the sentiment. Like, I don't agree with it, and I think we should all try our best. But man, what a crazy predicament to be in. and I can feel that anxiety coming from Emmy Lou as well. And it's tough out there. I know it's tough for everybody. And once again, playing music makes me feel better. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing it. Also, my car got broken into last night. Had a whole bunch of microphones stolen, a bag, guitar cables, most of the stuff that connects to my musical life. It's just a weird, violated feeling. And also I wiped my car down with Clorox wipes to make sure that disease didn't get into it. And I was just an idiot, and I left my doors open for the night, unlocked. And I don't ever do that. And it makes me wonder how often my car doors are getting checked right outside of my house. And then John Prine passing away. And, that affected me a lot. And I'm usually not affected very much by people that I've never met when they die. But, man, he meant a lot to me. And I'm not even going to do one of his songs here because everybody's doing them right now. And I do them all the time. But I'll get around to it pretty soon. But those three things have hit me hard this week. So hopefully this makes some people out there feel better. And it's already making me feel better just to talk this stuff out. But, we're all going to get through it. And hopefully we'll get through it as better people. Well, we're not all going to get through it. I guess that's why it's so freaking scary. But those of us that do and are lucky enough, fortunate enough, hopefully we'll make it through as better people, and we'll try to build a better earth for our kids. At least that's what I hope. So let's play a cheery, uplifting song about a collapsing society and the misfits and the forgotten ones, and their place in the society before it collapses, and kind of how we look at the people that don't really fit into the system in real life, and how we should be supporting those folks, I guess. It's part of the same album as William the Conqueror, in that collection, kind of the concept where I'm writing songs based on true stories or based on books, really stealing ideas and building these little worlds within songs. So this is based on Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, and it's called Brave New World. I'm going to do my best to sing it because I usually bellow, so I'm actually going to take it down a half step. We'll see how it goes. Now I got to get my pick ready. I got to snag that real quick during the tune. Just watch out. It's like a magic trick. Sleight of hand. We were grown in little tubes. Some were pink and some were blue. Pyrex had replaced the wound in the days of our demise. Every tube was labeled straight, name, occupation, date, assigned a home and assigned a maid, placed beneath the light. I was born on the 17th, the day the stamp ran out of ink. They placed my tube beneath the sink and left me there to die. Who am I? What am I doing here? Could this be life with purpose so unclear? Who am I? Billy had a dad pried open the door and everywhere but the four books. I stayed for days reading page after page, pirates and sailors, kings and crusaders, sinners and saints. There was a book away from the rest. Pages were bare, so I grabbed a pen, pulled my chair to the desk. Wrote of the world that cast me aside. Wrote of the people who gave me a reason to find a place to hide. In the end we were destroyed. Beneath the rubble they found the story of one lonely and forgotten boy, immortal in their eyes. Who am I? What am I doing here? Could this be life? With purpose so unclear. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? A Brave New World. Pretty cool. That's the first song I ever sang to Emmy Lou right after she was born. She was born on the 17th of June, and that line in the song, I was born on the 17th. I also remember writing the lyrics. That was another one that I wrote as a poem right after reading the book, before I ever put it to music, and showing it to Lucy way before Lucy and I ever dated, and my friend Chase, and they were both really excited and thought it was really good. And that wasn't a thing that happened to me a lot. It was people just being excited about a thing that I wrote and thinking that it's just really good. And so I felt really good about the lyrics, and I put it to music, and I played it in a band, and the drummer in the band said he thought it was terrible and it sucked and he didn't want to play it. And that was before the arrangement got built out with the finger picking and everything. It was really just sort of that, you know. So I kind of know where he was coming from, but it forced me to go back in and keep working on it because it wasn't ready, and I didn't want to ditch the lyrics. And it ends up being a tune that I'm really freaking proud of. So, A Brave New World. So I'm talking about playing songs that I really love, and I've talked a lot during these sets about. By the way, this is the Socially Distant Tour. I'm Dustin Owens, lead singer and songwriter of the Woolyboogers. Please follow our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. We're on Facebook as well. And keep up if you like what you hear. We'd really appreciate it. We're going to keep putting stuff out. And just as sincere as we can be with it, and hope you enjoy it. When I say as sincere as we can be, I mean as sincere to our personality, because sometimes the tunes are going to be tongue-in-cheek. It's inevitable. This has been a little bit more dire of an episode than we've had in the past. But anyway, trying to be more appealing to a wider audience. I went back and learned a lot of tunes that are well known, and the thing that I figured out was if I really want to be good at playing a cover song and I really want to be invested in it, I need to pick them that I like, and I've always known that, but most of the time I felt like the ones that I really liked were the ones nobody else knew. But in reality, they're these gems that are sort of buried amongst a lot of mediocrity in popular music just in general. And this next song, I just feel like absolutely one of the best ever written, and really set the stage for just about everything that I try to do as a musician. And not just me, but most of my favorite musicians feel the same way about this record. And this song is the epitome of this record and of this band, and that band is the band. The tune is The Weight. And just from the biblical references and the gospel feel, the gospel country feel, and just, I don't know, it's the perfect example of what I think of as Americana. All of these different North American styles of music played by a bunch of Canadians and one guy from Arkansas that used to be Bob Dylan's backing band and also Ronnie Hawkins' backing band. And there are three singers, and one of them is not the guy writing the songs, and all of this just stuff that still seems so strange, and their whole persona and everything about them, I still eat it up to this day. And every time I listen to this tune, it's so easy to listen to it and it sounds like a radio hit that everybody knows. But if you really dig into it and you really dig into the lyrics, man, there's just so much every turn to be revealed. It's another one of those tunes that's like a novel in less than 5 minutes. So I'm probably running really short on time, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. But once again, by the band, this is The Wait. Pulled into Nazareth, was feeling about half past dead. Just need to find a place where I can lay my head. Hey mister, can you tell me where a man might find a bed? He just grinned and shook my hand, no was all he said. Take a load off Fanny, take a load for free. Take a load off Fanny, and you put the load right on me. Picked up my bags, I went looking for a place to hide. When I saw Carmen and the devil walking side by side, I said, hey Carmen, come on, let's go downtown. She said, well, I gotta go, but my friend there can stick around. Take a load off Fanny, take a load for free. Take a load off Fanny, and you put the load right on me. Crazy Chester followed me and caught me in the fall. He said, I will fix your rack if you'll take Jack, my dog. I said, wait a minute, Chester, you know I'm a peaceful man. He said, that's okay, boy, won't you feed him when you can? Take a load off Fanny, take a load for free. Take a load off Fanny, and you put the load right on me. We'll go down Moses, there's nothing that you can say. It's just old Luke, and Luke's waiting on the judgment day. Well, Luke, my friend, what about young Anna Lee? He said, do me a favor, son, won't you stay and keep Anna Lee company? Take a load off Fanny, take a load for free. Take a load off Fanny, and you put the load right on me. Get your cannonball, now take me down the line. Our bag is sinking low, and I do believe it's time to get back to Miss Fanny. You know she's the only one who sent me here with her regards for everyone. Take a load off Fanny, take a load for free. Take a load off Fanny, and you put the load right on me. Alright, that was The Wait by the band, one of my absolute favorites. So I've got more of these to come. I can keep going forever. I got a ton of tunes, so I might get another one up this weekend. I'm probably not going to be doing them a lot during the week if I'm working. I'm going to try not to force them out there too fast. But if you're enjoying them, please interact with me. Let me know if you want to hear anything. I do have some that I'm playing in particular sets already that you might have to wait a little bit on, but I'm happy to try to accommodate requests if it's something that's in my wheelhouse, or even if it's not, we'll give it a try for a little levity and humor. There wasn't a lot in this episode. Oh, I did think of a joke though, something, the Wait being a quarantine tune, because all of our fannies need the load taken off right now for sure, because we were spending a lot of time on our butts. Whew, that was rough. That's the best I can do tonight, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, The Dustin Owens on Twitter. I'm Dustin Owens for the Woolyboogers, and this is the 5th part of the Socially Distant Tour. Have a good night.